So Marvel released what the new Spider-Man suit's going to look like in Brand New Day, and all I have to say is that this suit is really good in my opinion. Compared to the Homecoming suit, it's night and day. I think the Homecoming suit is okay, but it ties back to a complaint that the MCU has gotten, that their suits can be over-designed at times. And I agree with that statement, but in recent times I think they've listened and they've made their suits more simple in design. But like I said in my Fantastic Four First Steps review, I think they've really listened and they're starting to embrace the comic booky look of the designs of these characters. With how comic accurate the Fantastic Four suits looked, I think that they're starting to apply it to all of their characters. Comparing it to the suit we saw at the end of No Way Home, you can tell that there's differences between the two, like the blue texture being a different material and the eyes being a bit smaller in the No Way Home suit. When it comes to Tom Holland and his suits that he's worn, he's had the most suits worn out of any Spider-Man. And we know the reason why, because Marvel wants to sell more toys. I did see some people comparing this to the TASM 2 suit that Andrew Garfield wore, and I see why people make that comparison, and I don't have any problem with it, because in my opinion the TASM 2 suit is the best Spider-Man suit. Don't at me, I know people like the Raimi suit as well, and I think it's cool. I prefer the TASM 2 suit, but hopefully when this movie comes out and all the CGI has been applied to the suit, maybe this will be my new favourite. But I want to break down this suit and how it looks. First things first is that this suit has raised webbing, similar to the previous Spider-Man. I think that this makes a huge difference to the design of Spider-Man. The suits that he's worn previously, they didn't have raised webbing, so it kind of made the design look flat. They got rid of the black lines that were on his shoulders and forearm and on the blue sections of his suit. Again, this just simplifies the design and makes it easier on the eyes. Next is the spider logo. I think that this is way better than the spider he had on his original suit. On the Homecoming suit, he looks like he works at Apple. It's very small, it's not very noticeable. You know, it's a very friendly looking spider compared to this one, which I think is intentional because it reflects where Tom Holland's Spider-Man is in his life. You know, he has no one around him, he has no family, no friends, he's all on his own. So I think that this spider reflects that it's going to be a much darker film than the previous Spider-Man movies were. Next, I want to talk about the web shooters we see him wearing. Now I do love these because it ties the design into the story. We know at the end of No Way Home, he has no Tony Stark tech to help him out. So this is a Spider-Man that has been stripped down, and I think that these web shooters reflect that. They're much more bulky and visible than previous web shooters that Tom Holland has worn in the past. Next, I want to talk about his eyes. He still has the same eye format we saw in No Way Home, but his eyes are a lot more bigger in the new suit. He still has the thick borders around his eyes, which I do like because it reminds me of the Steve Ditko era of art style. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they went back to basics and looked at the Steve Ditko era and there was like, how do we modernize this for today? When it comes to his back logo, I've never really been fussed what they make here. Some people like the classic version, or some people like how it looks here. I'm not really too fussed either way. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. But overall, I really like this suit. I'm glad that Marvel is taking a step back and rethinking how do we translate these comic book characters to look in real life, and how do we adapt the essence that makes them special whilst also doing something new. But moving on from the suit, I just want to talk about the news we've been hearing from Brand New Day. We know that the Punisher is going to be in it, which is cool, but me personally, I've never really related to Punisher. He's not a character I really get excited for, but I understand why people do. I just see him as a man with guns, like I don't really see him as anything special. But what I will say is that I think it's cool that Marvel is finally merging the TV side of Marvel and the movie side of Marvel. I think we should be seeing more of that because it is a universe after all. In terms of what his role is going to be in the story, I have no idea. I'll be honest. I think it would be cool if they do recreate that comic book where Punisher and Spider-Man are fighting. But other than that, I don't know what his role could be. Like I said, I don't really have any expectations when it comes to Punisher because he's not really a character I care about. The next piece of news we've been hearing is that Hulk is going to be in the movie. Now this is a character I care about, even though they've been doing him wrong in the MCU. Seriously Marvel, fix the Hulk. That's a different video, but if we are going to be seeing Hulk in this movie, I do wish he returns to his Savage Hulk. I think the Professor Hulk we've been seeing in She-Hulk and that, I think it's kind of wrapped its arc and people are kind of fed up of it, me included. But I do know that there are people out there saying why can't Tom Holland's Spider-Man have a just solo movie with no other MCU characters being involved. And I think it's because when Sony was making the deal with Marvel, they're contracted to put an MCU character in the movies. That's why Iron Man is in Homecoming, Nick Fury's in Far From Home, and Doctor Strange is in No Way Home. So to the people who wanted a solo Spider-Man movie, I don't think we're gonna get that. Me personally, I'm fine with it, just so as long the character doesn't overshadow Spider-Man. We know that Dustin Daniel Crain is directing this movie, and all I have to say, if he brings the action that was in Shang-Chi to Spider-Man, it might be the best Spider-Man action we've gotten. I'm not saying that in the previous Spider-Man movies there was bad action, but I don't think there was nothing memorable that really struck out to the audience. Obviously except No Way Home, but that doesn't count. I mean, I don't remember the final fight between Spider-Man and Vulture at the end of Homecoming, so I think he's a really good choice for this movie. I can't wait to see what he brings. Moving on the set we see a tank with a logo that belongs to a certain group, it being the Inner Demon Gang, belonging to Mr. Negative. Now, he has been rumoured to be the main villain of this movie for a long time, and in my opinion I'm really excited to see this character be brought into live action. I think he has such a unique design and a unique power set that people don't really know about. I mean, I didn't really even know who Mr. Negative was until I played the Spider-Man games. Now, I will say, I am curious how they're going to pull his look off. Overall, now that we've been getting more news about this film, I'm getting more and more excited and I can't wait to see it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.